Every single day I wake up, I find religion. I'm praying to Jesus right now, thanking him that I didn't have a childhood in the United Kingdom. I mean, seriously, kids in the UK, I don't believe they're being raised by their parents anymore. They're being raised by the state. And the problem with that is that the state genuinely wants their well-being, but kids have no way in order to prevent the state from taking the well-being away from them, right? Like, the very idea that a politician can grow someone else's child is just baffling to me. Like, someone that has been through Eastern Europe and have experienced communism, this is like the biggest joke in human existence. Like, some bureaucrat, some fucking asshole that doesn't even know your child's name has actually the best well-meaning intention for your children. It's insane. So, like, let's look at what they're doing recently. Well, apparently, they're looking at China and they're salivating because they want the Chinese authoritarian system to be imported in the UK. And it feels as if every day they're copying Chairman Xi's homework in order to figure out, like, how can we have democracy in name only? Like, let's just have democracy on a piece of paper, but, like, let's not actually do what democracy is supposed to do. And that is to allow adults to do adult things, to talk with each other, and then to elect representatives, right? And so the British government is like, well, what if the adults only get to talk what we allow them to? What if they only get to see the information that we allow them to? What if we use censorship? What if we block them from using the internet? What if we manipulate YouTube's algorithms so they only get the information we like? And then they will only vote for the people that we want. And that's pretty much the mindset, okay? You think I'm joking? I'm not. And so, listen to this, right? They are now talking about a cartoon that's made in Russia. And the cartoon has absolutely nothing political, right? It's just like a children's cartoon that talks about the power of friendship. It's with a little girl and a bear, whatever. So, like, why the fuck are MPs all of a sudden trying to end the broadcast of this cartoon? Well, they say that it's Russian soft power, right? But what do they really try to accomplish, right? Like, what are they really after? Because, like, let's be honest, soft power is an incredibly vague term. I mean, by this logic, food is soft power, right? Any type of cultural thing that comes from Russia is soft power. A picture of the Kremlin is soft power, right? So, like, if you are trying to basically, like, prevent anything that is soft power from another country, well, you now have a mandate to ban pretty much whatever you want. You can concept creep the definition of soft power until anything gets banned, right? Even a quote from a Russian can now be considered soft power. No, I don't think this is really about Russia. I don't really think this is about Ukraine either. What it is to show and to normalize the idea that the government can and should ban anything it wants, including children's cartoons. Like, in other words, in the United Kingdom, there should be absolutely nothing that the government cannot do. That there should be no limit to the government power or mandate. The government should be allowed to raise children. The government should be allowed to see what people talk to each other online. The government should be allowed to check what's on people's phones. The government should be allowed to do literally anything. And the government, again, I remind people, is a fat politician. Like, that's what the government is, right? Like, it's not a well-meaning saint. It's not like a person that genuinely wants the well-being of the public. Because if they did, there would be less knife crimes, right? No, like, the government is made by people that are taking your taxpayer money in order to give themselves fat paychecks, and then to find out their friends, their families, give them jobs in the government as well, and then prevent the government from switching to some other political party. That's what they do, right? And so now they're targeting a children cartoon in order to have a precedent, in order to say, well, I mean, you don't want Russia's soft power here. Obviously, like, if you're generally concerned about Russia's soft power, you should actually respond with your own soft power, right? Like, this is what happens in a normal democracy. Like, Japan doesn't have this problem, right? Like, no child in Japan would watch this cartoon when they have anime. America, back in the day, wouldn't have this problem. Like, they had Dexter's Laboratory, Cow and Chicken, they had Toonami, they had, like, TV shows like Xena and Hercules. They had absolutely no worry about, like, how the Russians are going to dominate our children with one cartoon, right? Like out of all the American publications, you have like one cartoon, and the politicians, you're telling me, have been reduced to dread and panic because like a child is going to watch this and is going to consider it massively superior over everything else that the United Kingdom has, and so they're going to end up thinking that the Kremlin is good. Like this is literally what the British politicians are telling to their own people, right? Like they're terrified because their cartoons can't compete. And of course, you know, if you genuinely think that soft power is so important, why are they fucking their own culture non-stop? Like with the regulation and representation, and until no one wants to watch Doctor Who anymore, until no one wants to watch James Bond anymore. Like if you're telling me that they are so concerned about soft power, right? What is the soft power that they're exporting to the world? Everything is like race swapping, LGBT bullshit, historical revisionism, and they notice that the market is keep telling them no, that the market constantly refuses them. And the optics of it, right? Like, does Russia ban UK cartoons? Because that's the interesting aspect, right? Like, okay, fine, it's soft power, okay, sure, it should be banned. So, like, why isn't Russia taking the United Kingdom seriously? Like, isn't that fascinating? Like, is Russia not involved into a war as well, right? Like, shouldn't Russia start banning cartoons and TV shows from the United Kingdom? Because they're not. Okay, so, like, the UK is what? Like, admitting that culturally, like, they're getting dominated and ass-fucked by the Russians? And so, like, the only solution is to start censorship? Because, like, what? Like, parents can't censor in their own house? Like, you're basically saying that a parent doesn't understand, like a British parent doesn't understand the danger of Russia. He doesn't understand the danger that a cartoon poses to their children. But luckily, you know, you have Keir Starmer that actually understands everything. Like, his mind is far superior than the average British parent. And luckily, you know, Keir Starmer can force the British parent to not have that cartoon for their children. And I guess, like, what? You know, like, the British public should now admire Keir Starmer? Like, they should bend and worship him and praise him the same way that North Koreans praise Kim Jong-un? Because, like, Keir Starmer is keeping everybody safe, right? Like, without Keir Starmer, people would be in great danger and peril and harm. Because this is literally what they're saying. Not actively, right? But this is the implication. Of course, the internet is having a lot of fun with this, so it's getting memed to oblivion. Look here. Obviously, like, this is AI made, and it shows, like, the creator of Basha the Bear talking about soft power and saying, British deputies, there has been a terrible misunderstanding. We're not soft power, and certainly not a Kremlin propaganda tool. We are just ordinary commercial cartoon about friendship and looking out for one another.
Депутаты, произошло страшное недоразумение. Мы никакая не мягкая сила и уж точно не пропагандистский инструмент Кремля. Мы обычный коммерческий мультфильм о дружбе и взаимовыручке. Честно-честно. Упс. Да и ладно, не очень-то и хотелось.
Yeah, again, I believe that people who think this is about the cartoon are absolute fucking morons. Like, these are people that have to be excluded from normal conversation. This is literally about the government showing that censorship and fascism and what the Nazis did was actually good. And they should do it now, right? Like, in order to keep people safe, what should the government not be able to do? And the answer is nothing. They should be able to censor a cartoon if they want. They should be able to censor anything if they desire. And by the way, recently, they're also talking about tinkering the YouTube algorithm so that it promotes, for British people, the BBC and other nonsense, right? Because, like, people aren't interested in the BBC. So the government is like, okay, we're going to stuff it down your throat then. Wow, what a nice nation. Again, every single day I'm finding religion. I'm praising to Jesus. Like, Jesus, thank you so much for not making me have a childhood in the UK. Or any place in the Anglosphere, except for the United States. The United States is based. But, like, I don't fucking get it. Like, what is happening with Australia? What is happening with New Zealand? What is happening with Canada? It's like, man, these are not places that I would want to live, culturally speaking, right? Like, maybe economically they're still doing good. But so is China, right? And I don't want to live in China. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, we'll see each other in the comment section. Take care.